Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. I'm hoping everyone can hear me. And we are on our own today, so I don't know if you can hear. Let me know. If you can hear. Hey, Naomi, can you hear me, Naomi? Yeah, and there's Matt. Can you hear me? Yep, you can hear perfectly. Excellent. Very good. Because there's very few of us today. So good morning, Naomi, Matt, Chantel, good morning, and Helen. Andrew, good morning. Yes, I'm glad you can all hear. Declan is here, and so if I need him, but because we're having this little bijou perfectly formed. In fact, we may have done well to have done it on Zoom actually, but we're here now. Yeah, the secret Welshman. Who knew? Who knew? I thought you were Italian, Matt. You claim to be Italian. Well, just hang on a minute, because there should be about a dozen of us on today. We're nearly there. We'll see who joins. And so hi, we've got Naomi, Michelle, Matt, Leanne, hi, Kirsty, Helen, Ellie, hi, Chantel, Brooke, Andrew. Let me have a look. Someone else has joined. Who is that? So morning, Michelle. Nice to see you all. Are you all getting excited? Give me a yes if you're getting excited. Give me a yes. Yes. If you're getting excited, yeah. But I don't know whether you were on last Wednesday when the English salons were getting ready. I asked the question, who is nervous? Who feels a little bit anxious about the opening? So, yeah, so Helen already put there, yet nervous. So, good. Come on, I want everyone to tell me if you're feeling a little nervous. I want you to, because I want you all to see that what you are feeling and what you're experiencing right now is the same for everybody. But we've got a couple of people on here from the English salons. What's this? Not the usual DDBB business bite, doing 100 things. Okay. So I mean, am I taking it? Who's not nervous? Who's taking this in their stride? So if you're taking it in your stride, just put on there, taking it in my stride. Have I lost connection with people? Ah, here we go. Who's taking it in there? Okay, you're still here. Okay. All right. So, all right, good. Excellent. So we've got a couple of English salons here with us today. Most of them, of course, are busy, because what I want to tell you is this: since Saturday, most open Saturday, some did open Monday, but I promise you they've been flat out. As I'm sure your appointment books are already very, very busy. Now, I do know, of course, you're waiting for your for the Welsh Government to give you the absolute go-ahead tomorrow. They're making an announcement tomorrow. And from what I understand, you've not yet received your guidelines. Is that right? Just, I want to make sure that I'm getting this right. I've done a little bit of Welsh. Yes. So you're probably feeling really nervous about that, because that happened to us too in England, but it fairly much was what we expected. The only things really that happened in England at the last minute with the guidelines was the 1 meter plus rule. Okay, and I was just about to say, Naomi, that from what I understand from the NHBF, it appears that the Welsh Government are satisfied that the guidelines that the government have set out for the English salons are good, and so that's what we can talk about today. I thought about the only things that I thought may be different, and the only thing that may be different. So, as you know, it's mandatory for us to wear here in England a visor. So this is an example here. And be careful when you buy your visors. A lot of people have had to go out and buy second lots. Some of them are a little bit cheap and nasty. But I've got, there you go. So that's an example of the kind of visors, right, that people are wearing. The only thing that may be different, they might ask you to wear a visor and a mask at the same time. Okay, that's the only thing I can think that will happen. Maybe. Maybe. But we'll have to wait and see tomorrow, okay, what happens. So let's talk about some of the things, and as we go along, give me some feedback and tell me that you've already done these things, okay? So you are going to have to do a risk assessment, which is and this is confirmed for Wales, because this is what all businesses have had to do, a risk assessment which is specific to COVID-19. So you all know that you have to do that. So this is nothing to do with your risk assessment that you normally do, your general risk assessment. This is one which is specific for COVID-19. Now, it is only necessary for people that are employing more than 5 people. But just give me some feedback. Have you done this already? Did you know you've got to do it? Are you waiting for the guidelines tomorrow? Do you not know where to start? Tell me and I can help you. No, it says Naomi's typing, so I'm waiting for Naomi. Maybe she's typing to someone else and not me. Okay, so I've used some of the info from the DD Dozen Girls, but wouldn't have a clue myself. Okay, so if you are members of the NHBF, they have an excellent guidance. It's only a guidance, but do you know what? That's what I ended up using, and I had already done a health and safety risk assessment for COVID before we closed down, but I did use the guidance from the NHBF. It looks very similar to Health and Safety Executive 1, and so you could go on and you could get that one from the NHBF. It really was very good. If anybody wants to see mine, then if you email me any of these things that you want that we're going to talk about, I'll share with you, but you must email me because it's really hard. If people send me on all different messages, it's really difficult for me to collate all the information, and it's all got to be sent by email anyway. By the way, look, I got a haircut. Do you like it? Oh my God, I was so happy. And your clients are going to be so happy too. Okay, so something else. So the risk assessment, really, really very, very important. If you've got any questions about the risk assessment, you can ask them here and I'll answer them. And I know Matt's here. I'm sure he's done his too. Now, the other thing, which is very important, is that you must do training for the team. You actually, what it says is that you should consult and communicate with the team, right? But in hairdressing, we call it training. So again, I'm sure you've already organized that. Now you can do it by Zoom, or you can have everybody into the salon. All your teams are still currently furloughed, I'm guessing. You can call the team in for training whilst they're still on furlough. Okay, that is okay. Now, let me tell you something that happened here in England to a few people. A few people had their teams in, and they had I know somebody who had their team in. They were doing each other's hair, and the environmental health come in and the police. They were fine. They didn't get a fine, but that is what happened. On the day before we opened one of my salons, we had the local council come and visit us. Someone had phoned and told them that we were in there, and we were doing hair. We were doing each other's hair. I wasn't there actually, but so we got a visit. We've had a few visits from the local council and the environmental health, and the community police come in and check in on us since we opened. All very friendly and all very nice. But and we've not had it in all of our towns, but you know, there's quite a bit of it about, but it's all very friendly and it's all very nice. So you can train the team whilst they're still on furlough. In terms of unfurloughing the team, you don't have to unfurlough everybody if you don't want to, and you can unfurlough some of them part-time. Even if you unfurlough people as long as they were furloughed, which I'm sure all yours were before June the, oh gosh, I've not, the date's gone from my head, all right, and I want to stay focused on where we are. You can at a later date refurlough people, either part-time or full-time. Okay, so know that that's an option. So in the first few weeks, you know, you're going to be really, really busy. That might peter off a little bit. If any of you follow Brittany on her social media, you'll see that her salon have now started their marketing campaign, and that's because they are now actively seeking new clients. You do have to take into consideration people's travel to work. So if you have got people that travel to work on public transport, you have to take into consideration that it's not a reason for them not to come to work. But let's say, for an example, let's say you're near a large factory, for example, and 9 o'clock start time would mean that they are going to be on public transport with a lot of other factory workers, or something like that, or maybe you're near a shopping centre. If you're able to adjust their hours, then you should do that. You should do everything you can to make it as safe as possible for people. So it would be quite easy in hairdressing, of course, for us to have somebody start at 10 o'clock and finish an hour later. That's something that you can consider for people. Now let's get on to the we'll get on to the salon environment, and I'm actually doing this in the order that's on the government, the Welsh government website. Interestingly, PPE was the last thing on there, and it's probably the thing that you most want to talk about. But the salon environment, let's talk about that for a second. Now, of course, one of the things that came as the biggest thing for us in the English salons, which was really gave us the opportunity to make some decisions about how we operate our business, and that was what they call the 1 meter plus rule. And I've not seen 1 meter plus mentioned anywhere on the Welsh government website. You'll have to tell me if they're talking, what do they call that when they're on the news in Wales? Have they got like a specific way that they're describing that, so where you can't keep 2 meters apart? Can anyone give me some feedback on that? Does anyone know what they're calling that in Wales? You see, I don't get to see your okay, you haven't seen it mentioned anywhere. All right, maybe you know, it could be that, you see, if you are going to be following the English guidelines on the United Kingdom, and by the way, I hate what they have done to us in terms of turning us into 4 nations. I hate it. Oh, and another question I need to ask, is there anybody on here that's not English and not Welsh? So any Scottish or Irish salons on here, just so that I know, because it's different for all 4, and I hate what they've done. It's ridiculous. I understand why we have 4 nations. Of course, we have 4 different cultures, but in this context, yeah, it was wrong. They should have agreed to work together, but that's politics for you, and egos. That's what it's about. It's about egos. It makes me so angry. But anyway, I'm not going to get angry today. I'm happy. So, there's a document on the UK government website, And what you look for, the document, if you haven't yet found it, it's 40 pages, and it's the document is called close. Oh gosh, it's gone out of my head, and I've not brought it up. So I'm working in the office downstairs at the moment, and I've come upstairs to do this so that we haven't got a lot of background noise. It's called close. Oh, help me out, someone. Close something services. Close contact. Yeah, so it's guidance for close contact services. Okay, guidance for close contact services. So you can see all of the guidance there if you want to read it all. That's up to you. So the 1 meter plus, let's go back to that. That's what really is something that is going to be a game changer for you, because what it means is like previous to that, let me just make this clear. Previous to that, the guideline says wherever possible, you must stay 2 meters apart, and where you can't stay 2 meters apart, you must make other provisions. And I've read this carefully on the Welsh website. It's what it says for you too. And the reason why I've read it carefully is because, you probably already know this, but from a legal standpoint, the Welsh government are putting way heavier weight on this legally in Wales than they are in England. And in England, they're still calling everything a guideline. But in Wales, you do have some of these measures that are law. So I just want you all to know that. So if you see stuff that's happening in England, it's because very much there are people who are saying they're guidelines. What can they do about it? It's kind of true. They are guidelines, but that's why they've got the environmental health on it here. So it's a little, the weight is a little bit heavier in Wales. Anyway, so let's go back to the 1 meter plus. So the 2 meters wherever possible, and then make provision. Let me use here Passion for Hair as an example. There are times when we can't keep 2 meters apart. For an example, if we've got a heavy box, 2 of us have to pick that heavy box up. And so our provision here at Passion for Hair is part of our personal health and safety risk assessment, and we have to wear a mask, right? So if I'm going to pick up a box with somebody else, we both wear a mask, and that's because the mask protects someone else. The mask protects someone else, and when someone else is wearing a mask, it's protecting me. Okay, so these are the census ones. I know lots of you have got these. Got nice census logo here, and it says "Be safe" there. They're nice. They're lightweight. They're easy to breathe through. You don't get too hot with them, and they sit really nicely and comfortable around the back of the head. I have got other masks. Sometimes the ones that are around the ears, after a little while, they start rubbing the ears. These are the census ones. My team have got them at Feathers too, because whilst it's the visor they have to wear, okay, for our personal health and safety risk assessment in Feathers, my team are wearing a visor and a mask when they're shampooing, because they're wearing both when they're shampooing, because I'm very concerned that a client will have her head here as they're shampooing, and she'll look up and think, gosh, because the visor, let me go to the side a little bit. Can you see the visor sticks out here? Right? And that's how you want them, by the way. I can see some questions. I'll answer them for you in a second. So for my salon, that's what they're doing. Now, you only have to wear the visor when you're actually working with a client. So if they're not working with a client, they can take the visor off. But for our personal risk assessment, we still have that where they can't stay 2 meters apart, they must wear the mask. So that's with the team. So it could be that 2 of them are mixing color in the same area, and if they're not 2 meters apart, they must put their mask on. Okay. Now, do my glasses steam up with the mask on? Okay, really good question. If I put the mask on quickly like this, and it's over the glasses, yep, can you see my glasses steam? If I put the mask on and then put my glasses on, okay, my glasses don't steam up. All right, so that's my experience with this mask. Now with the visor, and there's lots of different types. Can you see this one has got this forward band, and it allows this amount of space between the face and the visor. Let me show you again. So be careful. I've seen lots of them that have just got like a piece of foam here. And from what I've seen, there's not a big enough space there, right? So these ones allow for plenty of space for glasses, okay? And plenty of space for air, right? Plenty of space for air. The funniest thing to get used to in the beginning, and by the way, guys, wear your visor and get used to it. But the funniest thing is when you speak, your voice comes back to you. So that's the weirdest thing, is that it's like an echo chamber, you know. So now Naomi said that they're insisting on both at the back wash. Yeah, you know, I think it's good to do that. I think we've been asking our clients for reviews, and we've had tons of reviews. And if you look on Feathers Hair Salon group, either our Facebook or our Instagram today on our stories, there's lots of it posted that we've had, and clients are really complimentary about how safe they feel, right? And so that's important. The client comfort and the client safety is really important. So what that meant was the 1 meter plus rule. What that meant was that we are able to use screens, and you can get more use of your salon, right? So if you have got screens between your backwash, you can use all your backwash. And if you've got screens between your styling stations, it means you can use all your styling stations. Now, you've probably already made your plans in your salon to 2 meters. We had, and we stuck to our plans with 2 meters, except for the backwash. And what I can tell you is this: thank the Lord that we've been able to use all our backwash, because had we had not been able to do that, if they'd have stuck a 2 meter rule for customers, like strictly, it would have been quite difficult. So let's hope that that's what you guys get, and that you're able to use screens at the backwash, and so you can use all your backwash. In terms of the salon environment, of course, the important thing is that the salon is clean and organized, no clutter. I think, you know, that's important, that people can instantly see that you know how clean the place is. And then, of course, as soon as anybody enters the building, you know, they've got to sanitize their hands, right? But a very, very important thing is sanitizing, particularly for the team. Like, they should be sanitizing their hands, gosh, I don't know, 50 times a day, because in keeping safe, the hands, every time you sanitize your hands, if you have to touch something, right? And what happens, of course, for the team, there are going to be things that they are cross-touching. You can't help it. We have it here. You just, doesn't matter how hard you try, when you are operating in a normal day, you know, there are things that people have got to pass to each other, right? But as long as when they're doing that, they're sanitizing their hands, okay, they're safe. So lots of hand sanitation. One of the things that we've been doing is every time one of the team sanitize their hands, they put some hand sanitizer into the hands of any client that's around them. And if you're using the Census one, if you've not already tried it, you only need a very, very small amount. Remember, this one is alcohol free, right? So it's going to be kinder to the hands. It does contain in there moisturizing properties, okay? There you go. Right, make sure you keep, this is so important. It's one of the most important things. The client should sanitize their hands as they enter. and the next most important thing is sanitizing the stations and the equipment. That's really, really very important. Now, who's got any questions about those things at this time? Are you okay? Are you using a so Andrew? Really good question. If the people are people are quite wary of using a push down, because that in itself means that they're touching something. So I have given the team one of these, and actually I've given them a smaller one too. Actually, I've not got an example. I've not got an example of the smaller one. I've given them a smaller one too, but anyway, they've all got one of these, the team. And so they're able to put it into the client's hands with that, so the client can get the hand sanitizer without without touching anything. Now I know some of you might have automatic ones at the front of your salon, but the client needs this throughout the visit, the whole time throughout the visit. Matt's made a comment. It's not like what people have been used to. What do you mean, Matt? Are you talking about this hand sanitizer? You can retail these, by the way. Yeah, it's so much nicer to use. It is. I mean, all the feedback straight away, the clients will say to you, "Oh, that's nice. It's more like a hand cream," because it is. It does smell like Christmas. Yes. It's got no alcohol. No alcohol. And so it's been made specifically, to think about people that are having to sanitize their hands a lot, right? Because you keep sanitizing your hands with that 70% alcohol. In fact, did I tell the joke? Did I tell you the joke last week? It's 2023 and the no win, no fee solicitor says, did somebody spray Dettol near you in 2020? Let us get the compensation you deserve. Get you the compensation you deserve. I mean, it's not funny really, but we have got to think about, for hairdressers, we must think about their hands. So yeah, the feedback's been super. As I say, you can retail these if you want to. You can buy these from us. Don't ask me the price right now. I can't remember, but it's no more expensive than any other hand sanitizer. And it's rather nice. This is proving to be very successful. I wonder if Matt's got any feedback on this. But you can spray this everywhere. So on the chair, the styling station, you can spray it absolutely everywhere. And then you just wipe it. You don't dry it. You then let it dry by itself. But it's super quick, smells nice, kind of clean. Yeah, the door you love it. Door handles, yeah, all the door handles. There's one in every corner. It's super quick for the team, and it leaves everything really quite nice and shiny. So like some sanitizers, everything goes smeary with it, and then you have to like kind of, and it's got to be quick. Whatever you do has got to be quick. If you're using everything disposable, let me tell you, you are going to get great feedback about that. Clients want disposable. There's no doubt in my mind about that. So, what else about the salon environment? What else would you say, Matt, about the salon environment? One of the things, whilst Matt's typing, one of the things that we have done, in at Feathers, is where people have, like, throughout the appointment book, we have like a book out, which is sanitation, right? And so we book that out so people know that multiple times per day, that's part of their role. And interestingly, if any of you are using steamers to get the salon ready, such a great thing to do. We've kept our steamers out, and so for an example, if the basins are free, someone will steam all the basins even when the clients are there. We're just doing that really so clients can see we're taking it really very seriously. So you might want to do that too. Let's talk a minute. So that's Guests arrive and they stand outside, then we welcome them in. Yeah, so if you've got your door locked, guys, do you know what? You've got to lock the door. I mean, as soon as we were in the building, clients just tried to come in. Like people just trying to come in. It's incredible. So you must keep the door locked or put a baby gate over or something, or a screen there. Don't let people come in, you know. So guests arrive and they stand outside. Then we welcome them in and explain to them what they can expect. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. At the front table, we've got sanitizer, skin tests for when people pop in. Really important, the 4Rs letter. We're going to talk. I'm sure people are going to ask us about retail in a minute. It's unbelievable, guys. Rebooking and retail. If you work on it, you're going to get some great results. So, yeah, so one of the most important things is that people have to be informed, and they have to have guidance. And for me personally, one of the things that I was really very keen about was that when people are in the salon, I want to keep it kind of as low key as possible. And you know, if you're accompanying the client all the time, which you are, it's really very easy for us to control what's happening within the salon. Okay. It's all quite calm. I agree, Matt. It's all quite calm. A bag for them to put all their items and keep them with them. Yeah. And a saving grace is not having refreshments to serve or having laundry to do. It's actually surprising how much time that stuff all takes up. You wouldn't have thought it really, but it's really quite incredible. You're going to use the bag forever now. Yeah, it's interesting how some things, you know, my team have said, like, we want to keep doing it this way. So it's interesting. That's really helping everyone, Matt. So you keep typing and giving your feedback there. I appreciate you being on today. So let's talk about information and guidance. You have to have information on the front door, and Welsh salons, your government have done well for you. I'll show you in a second. But this is the one that we've got on our front door, right? We made this ourselves. And in England, everyone's got a different sign. But I think you're going to tell me, Matt, we didn't even supply the water. We're telling clients to bring their own water. Anyway, but you know, yeah, you know, lots of salons are supplying people with bottled water, and maybe we'll change that as time goes by. You know, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to share my screen now. Is what I'm going to do. I'm going to share my screen in a second. So just give me a minute, because your government have done this stuff for you already. So I'm hoping what you're going to tell me, just give me a second. I hope what you're going to tell me, guys, is that, hold on. Yeah, Matt, that's a really good point. We'll come to that in a second. Let me share my screen. Just give me a minute. It says I'm sharing my screen. Okay, so this is the Welsh Government website. Can you see there? It says there gov.wales. I'm live on their website page. I can't see your typing at the moment. I love this. Look, oh, it's so cute. Anyway, so you can tell me whether these are on the doors of the businesses, right? But this is what you're supposed to have, showing symptoms. So these are the same symptoms that we have here right now. Ours says high fever. Here it says high temperature or fever, but you've got high temperature of 38 or above, persistent cough or shortness of breath, loss of taste or smell. I love this too. Look at this. There you go. It's in Welsh, because I know in some areas in Wales, Welsh is the first language. And for those areas where you are using both languages, here you go. It's in Welsh and English, right? You can go on and just print these. So you should have some of these. When they talk about information, these are some of the things, right? That's the symptoms one. There you go. This is the Welsh Government, right? Again, it's in English, it's in Welsh, or you can print it so you can have it both. Love that. For such a small country, you're so organised, so cultured. You've got a hygiene one there, a face mask one there. There you are. Okay. There you go. So when they talk about information, that's some of the things that they're talking about that you should have. Here are some others that I want to show you. If you're a member of NHF have got these ones. So these you will put anywhere where people wash their hands. I've used these ones because when they are branded like that, makes it kind of real simple for people. Just give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. There's one there for your retail. Please do not touch. Okay. There's another one, which is if you've got stations that are not being used, there's another one that says this station is not being used. So you might want to choose to use that one. Now, I also want to bring up, I could not make out whether this is mandatory in England, that we have to have this 5 steps put up and the employer signs it and the health and safety representative is there. And when we've had visitors come to us, they have asked to see this. So I can't work out whether you have to have it or not. Okay, but watch out for it. If you want any of these things, if you email me, I'll help you locate them. Now, the other thing you would have seen, where am I? Where are you? I've lost you all. Let me get back, end the screen sharing. The other thing that you would have seen is a lot of salons doing these little, you know, step by step. Please wait outside. You know, please do this, please do that. You know, that's where salons have made those themselves. And how you make that, if you've not already done one, and if you've not already done one, and it doesn't have to be, you know, complicated or sophisticated, but basically it's your risk assessment that you have done, and then it's in bullet points, and you put that on the front door as well, right? And then that's how you communicate with people. And then you can use it on your social media, you can use it on your website, and you have communicated well with people, and that's all you're required to do. The other great thing for us, of course, is that we can communicate with the client because we are one-on-one with the client most of the time. So let's have a look what Matt says. Yeah, you must drink water with the visors on. And I don't know why that is, but most certainly, like I know it to be true, you get dehydrated. It must be something to do with the breathing. So you must drink a lot of water. Okay. Plastic aprons are not compulsory for staff. We're not using plastic aprons. We're using like a colour apron that's being laundered every night. We're doing it because then it's real easy for people to put their little thing in their pocket, their little hand sanitizer in their pocket. But that's not mandatory. Of course, you'll have to check with the Welsh government, and if you want to do that, you can. All I'm going to say to you is this. You know, and you can do it in phases. So you can do phase 1, phase 2. I think apart from the mandatory stuff we have to do, the measures, I think it's important to take into consideration what the team feels safe with and what the clients feel safe with, right? What is most comfortable for everybody, how people feel comfortable. I think that's important. Matt's saying it's because you can't get enough air, and that is why it's important, guys. Make sure you get a visor with plenty of space here, right? And I know this to be true because these are the ones that I got for feathers. Okay, Carly, as you know, works here in the academy, and Carly had got a different one, and within 2 clients, right, Carly had to swap to one of these. Her one didn't have enough space here. Okay, so make sure you get enough space there. A limited amount of oxygen compared to what we're used to. Yeah, plus you raise your voice a bit more and you think you're deaf. Yeah, and there's no need to raise your voice because I'll keep the same let's do a demonstration. I'm keeping the same level of voice. Now, I don't think that it's changing, like what you can hear. It changes that the fact the voice is coming like that, right, and not directly. And even if I put a mask on as well, okay, I'm still speaking normally. I'm not speaking any louder, and you can see that you can still hear me. I actually think it's in the guidelines. It says that you're not allowed to play loud music in the salon, and it actually talks about keeping the chat to a minimum. And I think that that is a really good thing to do. I think it's better for you. You will conserve energy. And that's where some of the calmness comes from, in my opinion. So that's really quite interesting. And then there's one other thing that just popped into my head that I wanted to share with you all. And it's gone and it will come back. Where did I get them from? I didn't order them, Helen. I will find out exactly where we ordered them from, and let you know. So information and guidance, that's really about the information and guidance and what you're required to do. There's one other thing. Hang on, there's something else yes, okay. This is an important point in case you haven't picked this up yourself in the guidelines. They call this the at-risk area, or the at-risk zone, face to face. Okay, and that's why with the visor, of course, we've got a barrier which protects the client and protects you. Okay, so both parties are protected. One of the reasons they've allowed hairdressers to go back and not nail techs and beauty and aesthetics is because they've assessed that we work mostly from behind and from the side. Now, there's a little bit of misconception. I've seen, people saying, oh, you're not allowed to trim fringes because you can't be at the front. You can be at the front, but what it says is you must limit time at the front as much as you can. So for the first time in 30 years, for 30 years at Feathers, we've done our consultations like face to face, right, with the client, eye level. And now for the first time, of course, we're doing most of, like, our consultations are all being done, digital consultations, before the client comes. Okay, but then even when the clients come in into the salon and they're reconfirming what it is that they're doing today, they're doing it through a mirror. It's been one of the biggest culture changes for us. So that's something that's really quite important. So number 9 on the Welsh government guidelines then talks about PPE. And what it says, the same as the English guidelines, it says, for the most part, PPE remains what is normal for your job. So in other words, we wear gloves for colouring. We're not required to wear them for anything more than that unless it's specifically mentioned. So gloves are not. We only have to use them when we are doing things with chemicals. We don't have to wear gloves other than that. Of course, the visor is compulsory. The mask is optional. The mask is also optional for the client. And apart from that, it makes mention of clothes should be clean every day. And you should come directly to work from home. If you're going to, you must come directly from home to work. Like for the thing of clothes, a lot of people think that they should be changing their clothes when they get there. You don't have to do that. But what you can't do is go shopping all around town, right, and then go to work. The guidelines make reference to that. Is there anything else about PPE, Matt? Of course, it's not compulsory for clients. I'll tell you, I know a few salons that have had some. I know a few salons that are asking clients to wear a mask, and if that's what you want to do, that's up to you. It's your business. I do know that some salons have had feedback from clients I can't wear a mask because I've got asthma. I've actually seen, I'm sure you all have, on social media, people saying, what do I do if a client refuses to wear a mask? Now, a mask is compulsory on public transport, but even on public transport, there are exceptions. So I've seen a couple of salons fall foul of that with clients. So yeah, do you know what? My advice to you is don't make clients wear masks. And if you really want to, if you really feel that you need to, that is your prerogative. But you can see that Matt's put there, the guests love it that they don't have to wear masks, and ours do too. And I'm not concerned about them wearing masks because the team have got the visors, right? So the next thing to talk about, is track and trace. If you've got a computer, if you're using a computer, and as long as all the details are in the computer. Yeah, actually, I just want to go back 1 second, because you might have clients who can't, like, clients are not required to wear a mask, but you might have a client that comes in and wants to wear a mask, and that's okay. And that's okay. And I fully expected, and no one's told me this has happened yet, but I fully expected to see some clients who would be bringing some of their own sanitation wipes. Maybe they've got them in their bag and they're not bringing them out because they trust that we've done a good job. I'm not sure, but I've not heard anybody say it, but I fully expected it. And I'll tell you why. Because when I travel on a plane, I take sanitation wipes and I clean the seats of the plane. Yeah, I do. And I use first response too. Even before all this, first response is a spray that you spray up your nose down to the back of your throat. And if any bacteria or germs come into your nose and your mouth, first response fights them. I don't know if it works with COVID. I've no idea. But anyway. So track and trace. If you've got a computer system, as long as you've got the client's details in the computer system, that will be the client's name, address, and phone number. And so make sure they're up to date. Then you're going to be good to go for track and trace, because should you be required to find the information, you'll have it all there, because you'll know from the appointment book who was in, and you'll be able to go directly to the client's records. If you haven't got a computer, you are required to keep records of who is in at what time. Well, you have that from your appointment book, but you must also have people's contact details. So you must have their address and you must have their telephone number. No, Matt, a shot of Dettol, like, you can't do that. That's a Trump thing, China. Track and trace. And I think, unless you guys are going to, I think from what I can see, but Trump said, yeah, from what I can see, I think that is everything. And now, ask your questions. Let's see what questions you've got, and let's see if we can answer them. Wonderful. First question. Naomi, it is so easy. My team, in our week starts Sunday. So Sunday, we were open Saturday, but the week starts Sunday. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. In 3 days, we did more than double of what we normally do in a week. It's really easy. Your clients want to support you, right? The other thing is, clients have not had much opportunity to spend money or treat themselves. And I think, people are, they've been kind of having to take care of their own hair, and they're very aware of the fact that, if they've got the right equipment, it's much easier. So, let's see, what did Matt, you give some feedback on your retail. By the way, for those of you that know Constance did ex-VAT £400 retail yesterday. I saw that last night. See what Matt says. Right, okay. So Chantel's asking, is there a limit on how many clients are allowed in the salon at the same time? No, there isn't. But what's important is that you have organised the 2 metre distance at all time. And so you'll have your own understanding of how many people can be in the building. And that is why you should keep the front door shut, locked, in my opinion. That's only my opinion. And if you can't keep the front door shut because it's hot, use a baby gate or something, but don't let people just walk into the salon, because if you do, for the clients who are in the salon already, they might start to feel not safe. Okay. And many of you will have, I mean, most salons are designed to use every bit of space. So, you know, unless you have been able to make good assessments of dealing with people coming in the front door, and you've got a receptionist, but anyway, in answer to your question, there's not a limit to how many people, as long as the social distancing is well planned out, unless the Welsh government say otherwise, of course. Okay. One thing I'm a little nervous about is going overtime with colour corrections. Have your team mentioned how they're dealing with this, Matt? Let's wait for Matt. And I'm going to give you some feedback on this, Naomi. So, when you've got let's say you've got a client in the chair, okay? She arrives. Hopefully you guys are doing pre-appointment consultations, so you know what is coming in. But let's say that you get a situation where the client sits in the chair and it's not what you expected. It's really very important that you assess the situation and you tell the client what can be done today and what can't be done. Okay? Don't honestly, clients have got a completely different attitude sitting in the chair today than they had. And most of you let's remember this, in the first couple of weeks, you're going to have all your regular clients, right? Now, you might have some new clients maybe, but for the most part, your regular clients, it's going to be a little bit easier. And so that's good. As we get down the line, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. But I think what I'm trying to say is don't compromise yourself. Just tell people straight, you know, this is what we can do today. I wasn't expecting this today. What I'm seeing here, that you've put a box color on, or you've done this, or whatever is happening, I wasn't expecting that. This is what can be achieved today. You've got we've got a QR code on the A board outside. Is that for the Salon Love app? Yeah, some have gone over a little, but you just dig deep and make it work, and everybody work as a team. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, do you know what, Matt? We've not had as many home. Most of our clients have waited. We were shocked at how many clients have waited. Invaluable to us has been the technique that Jude taught on her webinar, the reverse tinting roots. In fact, it's how Carly did mine. I was so pleased to get my roots done. I was so happy, and to get a haircut. So that's been invaluable. Of course, you use a lot more colour. I know with some of our clients, we that have tinted their hair at home themselves, what we've done in the first instance is we've done fast colour, MC2 fast, to put an elastoplast on it, and then we've assessed in the salon, and then we said, right, let's rebook for 6 weeks, and when you come back in 6 weeks, this is what we're going to be doing. So that's what we've done. Yep. So Helen said you did your mum's on Saturday with Jude's technique, and it was fab. What a great tip that is. So that was really good. The Salon Love app for retail. Daniel, I think you're listening, and if you are, can you just bring me some Salon Love boards, please? I can hear him moving, so that's good. Yep, he's doing it now. What other questions have people got? Fast colours ready, Andrew, if you want to make an order. And you know what? We've got a great opening offer. Daniel's going to come up here in a minute, and I'm sure he's going to confirm. I think one of each colour. Here comes Declan, and he's got it in his. Oh, okay. Can you just get me fast colour? The price, isn't it like it's supposed to be £235, and at the moment the opening order is £180 plus VAT. These are A boards. Okay, A boards that you can put up in the salon. This one says more ways to shop with us, right? And it's the Salon Love app, and it tells the clients to download. It says, thank you. Every purchase supports our independent business. And the QR code that Matt's talking about is that there. So the client puts her phone over there and it automatically downloads the app for her. And we also have this one, right? These are free for you. Just ask for them and you can have them, right? Love Your Salon. And it talks about the app. And what's interesting about this, of course, by the way, this week on the Salon Love app, we've had 2 nourishing stylers ordered by people's clients. 2 nourishing stylers. How much is the nourishing styler, Declan? 100 and... I just asked Daniel.
I'll look on the app.
So, oh yeah, he's going to look on the app. That's a good idea. £180 it is. So we've had 2 ordered this week. So some lucky salon have had 32% of their, well, 180 is with VAT. So of course we take the VAT off, and then they've had 32% of that. Let me just go back to fast colour. So this is the fast colour offer. Right, and what it says there is that it's £180 plus VAT for one of each colour. There are 34 shades. Then you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 luxe activators, the colour manual and the shade guide. What I will tell you is that they got the colour to us. It arrived last week, the end of last week. They got the colour to us, but the shade guides are not manufactured by Census. So we're still waiting for the shade guide, but it's the same shade guide. The colours are more or less the same as the MC2 shade guide. You do get the manual with it, and the shades are on paper at the back of the manual. So it's perfectly easy to work with it. So you save with this £54. Okay, so this is one of our, it's the first of our post-lockdown offers. We're going to have loads of offers for you where you can make a ton of money. Okay, so Daniel, one thing that we're waiting for here is where we ordered these visors from. We might have some. Okay, I mean I bought lots of these for feathers. Okay, and so if somebody wants some and you're short of time to get them and you're concerned, then you're welcome to order some from Passion for Hair. And these are about, we're not making any money on them. Watch out for these people. I've seen distributors selling visors for £9. Don't let people rip you off like that. These ones I think are about £3.85 or something. Okay, and they clean nice, and this is sturdy. And so if people want those, then that's good. That's where we bought them from. Thank you, Declan. Our mission is to promise we'll give you the most comfortable experience today. This is important a lot. And I mean, a lot of our guests have said that coming to the salon has been the first place they've been to since lockdown. Yeah. It's surprising how many people didn't even go to large supermarkets. Yes, Matt, I would agree with that. That's where we got ours from, and they were a super quick delivery. I'll tell you something else I've got too. If anybody has not yet got dividers and you want dividers, I have got a really nice pop-up divider, not one of the pop-up banners ones. This one is like it's a frame, like a tent frame with a stand, and then it's got the kind of plastic that then goes over it with Velcro. I just happened to have more than I needed, and I'm happy to keep them more than I needed, but I've got those. They are 6 foot high by 4 foot wide, see-through, and they're £85 plus VAT. They're really, oh look, they're showing us. Declan, it's on.
Yeah, I'm going to show people.
Oh, Declan's going to show you. Okay, I've only got, how many have we got? And I'm happy to keep them because I actually, pardon?
8.
I've got 8 left, and I'm happy to keep them because look, he's going down the stairs, because we're going to increase our capacity. There you are, look, there's one there. We're going to increase our capacity as time goes on by using these screens. But if anyone wants them, because you're last minute, because let me tell you, I had a nightmare last week with screens. I had a nightmare, and I don't want any of you to have a nightmare. So if you think screens are going to help you, I've got some. That's how much we paid for them. We're not making any money on them. We're not distributing them. I just happen to have some that are here, and if somebody wants them, then you're welcome. Just contact me after this. Okay, so I said that we'll have a power hour, and that's what we've had. Any more questions? Any more questions? Retail rebooking is amazing. Most of my stylists have had 100% rebooking. Retail's been amazing. Reviews have been amazing. You just have to ask, and you're right, Matt, making sure that you get that that letter out to clients, that message out to them, but ask people. So your salon is 94%. I've not checked the whole company. I will do that. I'll check, but I've checked individuals. I've checked individual people because I'm going to jump on people quickly, and those people who are not performing, I'm going to start sending letters of concern to people. Like, we're only Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're on our 5th day, and some of my team are going to get a letter of concern about their results. Well, I moving forward, the business, I'm really so happy with our start, right? It's been amazing. And the team have been amazing, but the results are what are going to help our business get back on track. And for those people that are not getting results, like, I'm going to give them a couple of boots up the bottom, and if they're not performing, then they may have to go. We can't carry people. We just can't do it. So we're already focusing on our week 5 and week 6, and bookings are weak for week 5 and week 6. Now week 7's okay, because that's where people have rebooked, but we've got to keep our eye on it. It's really, really important. Yeah, I agree, Matt. We've got to get it right. We've got to get it right. When you look around H&M, how many businesses was it they're going to close across Europe? Pret-a-manger, who would have thought? I mean, Pret's been like, from the minute that business launched itself, Pret's been nothing but a success. They even survived, people regretfully dying from allergic reactions from their food. They survived that, and the business still did well, right? Pret having to make redundancies, so we've got to get it right. Christmas is looming, and the virus, well, who knows what that's going to do. Yeah, and of course, a very good friend of all of ours, Barry, he's got 2 salons closed at the moment, right? He was all ready to go, and then the government said, no, Leicester's on lockdown. And for 24 hours, they didn't even know geographically what that meant, right? Was that the whole of Leicestershire? Was it Leicester City? They didn't know. So then they announced the geographic area, and 2 of Barry's salons are within the geographic area. Luckily, 3 of them are outside the geographic area, but they're working from 8 in the morning till 10 at night to try and get the clients done, to get all the stylists in a job. He has still got people that are furloughed because he couldn't get them all the stylists in. Yeah, it doesn't mean everything is fixed for the long term. I agree, Matt. I agree. And I think, you know, we've got to make provision for what might happen geographically to us individually. But apart from that, what I want to tell you is that a letter went out yesterday, an e-blast. I hope you all got that e-blast. On there are some of the plans moving forward for Passion for Hair. We are always here for you. We want to thank you all so much for your business. It's, you know, it's been crazy for us here too at Passion for Hair. We've been starting at 6 o'clock in the morning, here till 8 o'clock at night, trying to get everyone's orders out to you. So it's been crazy. We want to thank you for it because it's helping us get back on track too. I'll be watching all of your social medias. I've left my phone at home today. Rookie error. It's because I'm currently nursing a fledgling pigeon at home. Yes. So that's another story for another day. But I ended up putting my phone down where I was feeding the pigeon, and I've left it at home. And but anyway, look at yesterday's email, because that will tell you when Daniel's next webinar is, when my next webinar is. Next Monday, by the way, I'm doing ESON for Euphora for North America, but we're included in that. So hopefully you all saw that and you're going to join that. It's 6 p.m. our time. So and it will be going on until I think it's 8:30. It's like about 2.5 hours. So sign up for that and come, you know, join us for that. Beth will be there. I'm the guest, and Fred will be there. So it'll all be good. You've been so helpful and reassuring throughout, Debbie. Well, it's reciprocated, because without a sense of purpose, what would we have done, right? Yeah, and it is, yeah. It's been so, and let me just assure you all, within hours of being back, you will be in a rhythm and a momentum. I promise you. Years ago, I used to talk about, if we were footballers, we would train from Monday to Friday, and then we'd just go out and play a game for 90 minutes on a Saturday. And if we were able to do that as hairdressers, everything would be so perfect. Well, I was talking to my managers, you know, on Sunday night. So we'd been up and running for 2 days. And we were talking about that. We were talking about it as if, you know, we were able to do all the preparation and training. And because we'd done all the preparation and training so well, it went off well. And that's how it will be for you. I promise you. Everybody I've spoken to, and it's been quite hard to speak to people because they're so busy. And then by the time they get to the end of busy, you know, they're so tired, people don't even want to talk, you know. But for all of the people that I have been able to speak to, it's been the same experience for everybody, and it will be the same for you. So I want to wish you all well. Call us if you need anything. We can get anything to you next day. Whatever you need, we can help. If you want these, get into Salon Love. This is incredible. Don't let it swap your, we're not asking you to swap your sales in the salon, right? What we're asking you to do is the stuff you haven't got in the salon, or in between times for your client. The average, little fun fact, it was on the letter of yesterday. Daniel will have to confirm this. The average order on the Salon Love app is, Daniel, can you just tell us? I think it's 40 something, ex VAT. Wait a minute. 40, yeah, thanks, Matt. He's got the letter there, clearly. Oh, here you go, £42.67. It went down, Matt. Yeah, it went down. It was 46 last week, and I'll tell you why it went down. A particular salon are doing colour prep, Malibu C colour prep before every colour service. And she's got her clients ordering it through the Salon Love app, and it's bringing the average down, because I just told you that 2 people have bought irons at £180. So that's interesting, that's happening. But we've got a consumer that we deal directly with. She lives way in the north of Scotland, and she's a big Malibu Sea fan, right? A big Malibu Sea fan. Anyway, she called here yesterday, and she spoke to Daniel. Daniel will be able to put, yeah, it was loads of colour prep sold since Monday. Daniel will be able to put the meat on the bones to this story. So she normally orders from us consumer prices direct, because she lives way in the north of Scotland and we've not got a Malibu salon up there. She called here yesterday, and Daniel said, please go to the Malibu, hashtag Love Your Salon. That's our app, and you can order directly through the app, and it will be easier for you, etc., etc. Anyway, she told Daniel over the phone what she wanted to order. She always orders hard water and whatever Daniel's typing now. So you tell us, Daniel, what happened. And then her order came through like 15 minutes later. So she downloaded the app and gone and done her order, and added extra to her order was, yeah, so hard water, shampoo and conditioner is her normal order, and then she gets the sachets in the top, of course, right? And yesterday she added hydration, shampoo and miracle repair, because she went to the app. That's what happens. 2 of each. You see what happens? So get with the program, guys. Helen, it's been a pleasure. It's been our pleasure. She noticed the selection and purchase more. Yeah. Okay, guys. Good luck for Monday. You're going to be awesome. I'm going to be waiting with bated breath tomorrow for your announcement. And if there are any change to the guidelines and you want to talk it through, you know where I am. Okay? Good luck, everyone.